Now I invite Dr. Farah to talk about VFSS.
Hi, very good afternoon, one and all. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers of MenCon 2024 for giving me an opportunity to talk on video fluoroscopic swallowing study and to understand the intricacies of the swallow. So, video fluoroscopic swallowing study, as we know it, is also called as modified barium swallow study. This is another instrumental standardized evaluation, which is dynamic imaging of assessing the swallow. Now, what do we see in a video fluoroscopic swallowing study? We identify the presence, the type, and the severity of the physiological impairment of swallow. 2, we determine the safety of the oral intake. And 3, also assess the efficiency of the swallow. Now, the setting would be in a fluoroscopic suite with the patient comfortably sitting and the patient is given trials of swallow. If the patient is on the bed, we can still assess this by taking the patient to the fluoroscopy suite. It is usually conducted by a lovely swallowing therapist who are well equipped with a proper guard for the thyroid gland as well as the whole body. We usually use a small ring route there, which helps us in a kinematic analysis later. So the patient is comfortably seated in the fluoroscopy suite. Various food trials are given and assessed. Now, is there a standard protocol? To assess video fluoroscopy, we need a contrast agent. So in India, we have microbar suspension powder, which is used in various consistencies like thin liquid, semi-thick, or a purate consistency. And in few patients who have solid food dysphasias, like we do not have barium cookies, we trace or trail the swallowing biscuit with some barium paste. It starts off by acquiring the video fluoroscopy at 30 frames per second. We use very low concentration barium, around 20% weight per volume. The swallow has to be a non-cued swallow and test various consistencies, and recordings are both lateral as well as anterior-posterior. So what is the frame? The frame needs to cover from the velopharynx or the velopharyngeal sphincter up to the level of upper esophageal segment. To understand how to assess, we need to understand normal. Check for the tongue, the velopharynx, the mandible, the hyoid, thyroid cartilage, the velopharynx, epiglottis, the vertebrae C2, C3, C4, the upper esophageal sphincter, and the trachea below. Now, what are the normal physiological parameters that we assess? We take a lot of time measures as well as distance measures. Time measure is to assess the movement of bolus from the oral cavity up to the level of the upper esophageal sphincter. And the distance measures would be to check for the displacement or excursion of the laryngeal framework and check their efficiency in protecting the airway as well as in the efficiency to clear the bolus. The analysis usually happens frame by frame. There are various softwares that are available abroad, but in India we use ImageJ software, which is a free software that is available online, which gives us pointers, line markers, as well as area measurements. So the timing measures that we start off with is the swallow initiation time. Once the bolus has been introduced into the oral cavity, how much is the time that the patient is taking to initiate the swallow? Then goes on to the oropharyngeal transit time, that is the time that the oral cavity to the vallecula, what is the time for the bolus reaching up to the vallecula? The hypopharyngeal transit time, the timing from the vallecula up to the upper esophageal sphincter. What is the duration of opening of the upper esophageal sphincter and the duration of closure of the laryngeal vestibule? Like said, first we check off with what is the way that the patient is forming his bolus. Is the bolus cohesive? Is the patient having any oral spillage anteriorly? Any premature spillage posteriorly? Post the swallow, is there any pocketing or oral residue? Moving on next would be to check for the laryngeal vestibular closure. As we all see that during feast there is a whiteout, but what exactly is happening during that whiteout? We are all talking about the influx of food agents into the airway,
But is it really happening or is there any penetration? You check for the measures called as the laryngeal elevation, the displacement that the larynx makes when it is lifted up. Also at the same time, we are talking about the hyoid movement up there. Is the hyoid movement sufficiently going up and anterior? Also at the same time, because we have timing measures, we also assess for laryngeal elevation velocity. Like Dr. Sharma already mentioned, there is a penetration aspiration scale which has been adapted for FEES, which helps us in assessing whether there is penetration or aspiration, and is the patient able to eject out the material from the airway, and their various scales. So penetration score of 1 to 2 is considered safe swallow, while from 3 to 8 would be an unsafe swallow. What else do we measure? We measure the pharyngeal area. Pharyngeal area when there is maximum constriction. In an ideal scenario, the pharyngeal area has to be 0. Your squeeze should be so strong that there is no air pocket, there is no bolus left into the pharyngeal cavity. But in case there is something left out, we can always check for what is the amount of pharyngeal area at the level of maximum constriction. Next, most of our favorite is the upper esophageal sphincter. Once the upper esophageal sphincter is identified, we check for the dimensions of the opening of the upper esophageal sphincter. For how much duration was the upper esophageal sphincter open? And also we check for a post-swallow residue at the level of the upper esophageal sphincter. Like I said, along with the lateral views, the antero-posterior views become very important. Why? Because they help us in assessing the symmetry of swallow. Also, to some extent, also helps us in assessing the laryngeal vestibular closure. For example, in swallow number 2, you see that there is quite a lot of pooling on the left side where there is a Ryle's tube. This says that there is some kind of weakness on the left side of the pharynx. So this is easily assessed by a video fluoroscopic swallowing study. Now, like I understand, probably this is something new that has come up, something that we are adapting in our practice. So what is the need of the hour? Let's all adapt a kinematic analysis for all of us. Let's establish normatives for the Indian population right now. Because of the role of AI everywhere, we need to see if there's any role of AI in VFSs, and we need more Indian publications on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Next talk, Dr. Bhaumik sir, navigating the esophagus, walking through the intricacies of esophagus.